Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to show you how you can take your network's corporately created newsletter or promotional piece or email and turn it into a text with Project Broadcast utilizing landing pages. One of the things I love about Project Broadcast is that they incorporate so many different tools, and the landing page tool is top notch because I don't know that there's anything else out there that can do it the way that this can do it. And then here's the truth. Most networks out there are offering something for their coaches to, or their distributors to send out, whether that's a weekly promotion, or in my case, it's a newsletter. But oftentimes those things they're not quite what I want them to be. They're not as customizable as I'd like to be, or as personal as I'd like to be, or I can't send them with the platform that I want to use them on, which is really texting. And so the combination of Project Broadcast along with what my network is already giving me is a huge bonus. And what a lot of people don't realize is you can easily customize those newsletters or those promotions that you're given, especially when you have the right tool. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. So I'm logged into my Project Broadcast, and when you log in, you always go to the chat window. So the first thing I want you to do is you're going to go over and you're going to click on the little hamburger icon. That's what I call it, the three lines, the hamburger icon on the left-hand side, the More button. You're going to click on that. And on the very top section, I like to see how it's broke down into sections. The very top section, it's going to show you landing pages. Okay. Inside of landing pages, you'll see I have quite a few that I use, but I have a template, and I would highly recommend that you create a template because this will just be easier, especially if you're doing like a weekly newsletter like I do. And the reason like a weekly newsletter you want to have a template is you want something you can just copy from. Once you find the design you like, and Project Broadcast does give you a lot of designs, you could come in here and just click the plus button, and we'll just call this tutorial. And this is a tutorial. You could, a tutorial. Okay, you could come in here and just click and create a new one every single time. And there it is, tutorial. And then when I click on it, I have to click start designing, and it's going to take me to their landing pages, which is awesome. And I would start here, okay? Because Project Broadcast has given you so many different options to start with, and you're going to find one you like. And all of these are customizable once you're inside of them, okay? I already have one that I've kind of designed. I like to keep it really simple. I know that, well, I'm sending these through text, so I know that my clients, the people I'm serving, they are getting these as text messages, so they're going to watch them on mobile. So because of that, I like to, again, keep it really simple. It doesn't need to be crazy. A lot of people, we get carried away. I used to be that way. We get carried away with all the design fluff. It doesn't need to be. People just want professional and clean. That's what they want to see from you, and good value added content. So I have a template that I use, and each week I come into this template and I actually clone it. Okay, it's another word for duplicate. I just duplicate it. Again, if you're looking at the template, so all I do is I click on my template, and then I'm going to click the three dots, and I'm going to click the clone button. It'll create a clone for it. So I'll do that now, create a clone. It leaves you inside the clone. So as you see at the top now, it says that I am working in clone 01 of the client news template. Okay. Then from there, I'm going to go through and I'm going to customize it, which I've already done some of that. So I'm going to delete this landing page again, and I'm going to come over to this one. So this is what I've already done to get you guys ready. And the name of this one is going to be Client News, April 18th. I highly recommend you do these in ways that you'll remember why you set them up or how they're set up. That's just for you. So the name is just for you. No one else is going to see that. They are going to see the title. So we call ours Lean and Green Tips for our network, but you call it whatever you want to do, whatever you're building it for. And this is for April 18th. It's going to go out on Monday, April 18th. The description is what's going to go below the link. So they're going to see Lean and Green Tips, and then they're going to see whatever your description is. You can go up to about 155 characters is what Project Broadcast recommends, and I do too. You don't want this long, drawn-out thing. I keep it really simple, unless I've got something really important I want them to know. And that is, here's all you need to know to stay focused this week on program. That's all I'm putting in this one, okay? And this, again, this is when they share your link, because the beauty of this is someone else can share your link, okay? And I'm going to show you a little tip that you can do at the end. Then you're going to add a social sharing icon or a message. What is a social sharing image? This image is what's going to populate in the picture if this gets shared in a Facebook page or a Facebook group or even on someone's profile. It's the image that's going to populate. So I have one, and I like to, again, keep it clean. So this is my social share JPEG. I did this in Canva, and that's it. Lean and Green tips. Here it is. Okay. And I'm keeping it simple. You could do, like, if it's a special promotion that you're doing or really important news, I would encourage you to make that social sharing image something that someone goes, ooh, what is that? I'm interested. For me, for this situation, this is my newsletter. So keeping it simple. Then you're going to scroll up. You'll see URL. That is the actual link. And you can copy that link and you can send it out. Even right now, I could send it out. It's just not ready. That's the link that's going to go out. Now, I'll show you inside of Project Broadcast how you don't have to click that and copy it. It does it for you. But if you wanted to do this outside of Project Broadcast, if you wanted to post this into a Facebook message, for example, you could just click this link and you'd be able to share that inside of a Facebook message. And then views, I love this. Views is all about who's looked at it. And it will tell you if your contacts have their names, if you've updated all your contacts with their names, it will show you who's actually clicked on it. What you're going to see is if someone has clicked on it that is a part of your contact list, you're going to see their names. If someone has clicked on it that's not on your contact list, maybe it's been shared externally, it's going to say guest. So I love that. It shows you how well your content is doing. And then we have design, and this is what everybody loves. So I'm going to show you how I design it using my network's information that they give me every single week, and then how I can also add my own information to make it more personal. So click on the little pin next to design. It's going to open up the design. And again, I use the same format every week. I keep it very simple. But inside of Project Broadcast, you can see why, like you'll see I have green. That just goes with the color of my Lean and Green tips that I use. But here's what most people are going to see. I'm going to click on the bottom left. You'll see the different ways to view it. Most people are watching this from their phone. So this is what they're going to see. They don't even see the screen, but I do it that way. At the top, I like to put a header. Think of this like you were doing an email campaign. Landing page, very similar to an email newsletter. So if you've used products like MailChimp or Aweber, this is exactly the same thing that you're doing right now. So over on the right-hand side, you'll see this area that says content. You have content, blocks, those are like rows and things like that. Body, just the overall look, and then images, things that you can actually upload or add. So we're going to stay in the content area here, and I'm going to take and add an image. So all you do is you're going to drag this, excuse me, I'm going to refresh here. Sometimes that happens. So I'm going to refresh, go into landing pages, click on April 18th, and we're going to click and great. Okay. Sorry, I had a little glitch there. So we're going to click on image, and you'll see as I hold it down, it starts to shake. I just drag it and I drop it. That's it. Then I click on this and you can click upload. Actually, you can also drag and drop. I tend to upload, just easier for me. So upload, and I'm going to put my header in there, which I created again inside of Canva. It's going to upload it, and boom, there it is. Okay. Now I also have another place that I help give people tips and things like that. So for me, I'm going to start today with a custom, my own personal thing. I haven't even gotten to what my network is, but you have content to give too. You're an expert in your field. You know what your clients need and what they like. That's what I like about this is I don't have to depend on what corporate gives me. I can create something additional that's just for my clients. And so I have a whole influx, a brand new group of clients that have come on board with us in the recent months. And so we are always trying to help them to see the most success they can. So I recently wrote an article about how to be the top ways that you can be successful with your relationship coach on my blog. And so, with the relationship with your coach on my blog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this excerpt right here, the very top of it. Okay. I'm just going to copy that. And then I'm going to come back over into this tab, and I'm going to, I have a block here of content called text. I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to paste that in. Okay. And there we go. But there's one thing missing. I think that every article or part of your newsletter should have a heading. So I'm going to click on the X button. Now that does not mean you're leaving. The X right here means you're leaving this section of editing. So the save button will take you back to all of your landing pages. This is just saying I'm done with that particular row right now. So I'm gonna click that, shows me content. I can click on blocks, body, images, uploads, all the things I've got that I've done, okay? And now I've got content. I'm going to add a heading. So I can just grab it, you'll see it shakes, and I drag it to right where I wanna drop it. You'll see drag it here, and I let go, and there it is. It says heading, and now I'm gonna type how to get the most out of your relationship with your coach. And then I'm going to just do a little bit of formatting. I like it to be bold. Okay, and I think for this one, I'm actually going to center it. No, I'm going to leave it left justified because I like that. And then here's the front end, but they might want to read more. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the link from my leanandgreentips.com. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to copy that. And then come back into Project Broadcast on read more. You're like, wait a minute, where'd that button come from? Let me show you. All I did was I came in here under content. I grabbed button right here at the top, sorry. Grab button and I dropped it where I wanted it. From there, I did some editing. So I like this color here that you'll see. This is a color I use all the time. And so just to show you what I did, I'll just copy this color. Okay. So I came in, I chose the color, the background color. And for me, I like to leave the background cover and the color and the hover color the same. I don't do a lot of changing that way. So I did that. And then I left justified it. Then I clicked on the button text and I just said, read more. Boom, just like that. So I did that. Okay. Now I obviously have to come back in here to leanandgreentips.com and copy this. And now I've got that link. It asks me right here at the top. It says, where do you want this to take them? I'm going to have it open a website. Real quick tip, open website. If I click here, I can send an email, call a phone number, or send an SMS message, text message. You know how cool that is? That if I wanted to like text me now, you could literally just click that, put in your Project Broadcast phone number. When they click the button, it's going to open up their text messaging service and let them send you a message. Awesome. But for right now, we're going to use open website. I'll paste that URL that I have. It's going to open it in a new tab and boom, we're done. So that's my first article. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to, so I have a little line. I like to use lines, just divider lines, just like you would in an email. And if you click on anything, you'll see two buttons come up. You see delete and you see duplicate. So I'm going to use, on this situation, I'm going to use duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate that line. And then all I got to do is grab this one and I'm just going to drag it above where it says article 1. Now, those are my settings. So this is my first thing that I'm going to send out to all of our clients because it'll remind our current clients as well as it'll help our new clients understand the best ways for us to stay connected and for them to get what they want out of my program. So now you're like, okay, great. You did your own content, but what about the content that's given to me? How do I share that? And so I've opened up the newsletter that was given for this past week. And there's a couple of things you can do. Okay. First of all, what I highly recommend you do is open up some kind of a folder on your desktop. So mine's called Newsletter Tips. So I'm going to open that up and have that ready. Okay. That's just a folder that's holds my different graphics that I'm using. So the first thing that you're going to do is you'll see is you've got your title of whatever the content is that they're giving you. And then you've got your body and there's always an image. So there's a couple of things you can do. If you do grab the image, sometimes it will let you take it. Most of the time it will not. So what I do is there's a couple of things. Number one, I like to use Canva and I'll just create an image that's better for me. The other thing you can do is on a Mac, at least, you can hold down Shift, Command, and the number 4, and that's going to give you some crosshairs. You can see those, but it'll give you some crosshairs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this image and drag and highlight just the image. And then it'll create a screenshot of that image. I'm going to drag that right into that folder and drop it. Boom, screenshot. Okay, now I'm going to label it health component 4. Okay, simple. So we got health component 4. Okay, now I'm going to not worry about the heading because if I grab the headline, what you're going to see is the whole thing's going to drag. Now that will go into Project Broadcast, but it's a little bit more confusing. So what I'd rather do is remember what it is. So it's Health and Hope Night, optimal health component number 4, Optavia products and programs. So inside of Project Broadcast, I've got my article 1, and it's going to be called Health and Hope Night. And if you forget, like I just did, just hit enter, click back on the other tab, and it's going to be optimal health component number 4, Optavia products and programs. Optimal health component number 4, Optavia products and programs. Great. Again, I like to keep things like they would on a blog, so I'm going to left justify that. And you can do little things with this if you want. Like I can, if I highlight that, I can make it a little bit bigger. I can create the font size to make it bigger. I could do multiple areas there. So I could make that Health and Hope Night its own headline and make it bigger if I wanted to. So that would look like this. I'll just duplicate this and get rid of this. Now we're going to take and we're going to make this. Let's make it 32. So now that's 32. And then we can delete the small one there. And then on this one, what if we take and we highlight this and make it black? Boom. And let's make it smaller. Make it like 20. Perfect. And there's all kinds of things you can do, guys. Like for example, the container padding on this one, I'm going to make it smaller so it actually, it'll actually get up close to the other text. So the best way to do that here is to go more options, click that on, and just get rid of the top. And that'll slide it up. And if I click on Health and Hope Night, I click on container padding, click the more options button, toggle. And on the bottom, we're going to make that 0. So it does that. Okay. So now we got that. Now I've got my title and then I've got a text block right here. The way I add a text block, just like I add anything else, I click on content, go to text, hold it down, drag it, drop it. Boom. Just like that. And it's going to say, click, this is a text box. Click here to add text. And then I'm going to come back into my network's newsletter they've given me. And all I have to do is highlight. And I highly collect. I would recommend you click on the second letter of the first word. It tends to work the best. I'm going to highlight that article, hit Command C or Control C if you're not on a Mac. Come back in, click on your text blocks. It started with the word at, so I'll put it A, and then Command V or Control V if you're not on a Mac. And just like that, I've pasted that entire article in. And you're like, but what about the picture? I'll show you that in a second. Paste that entire article in. And you'll notice it doesn't bring over all the formatting. So all you've got to do is you go in here and you look for where the different formatting pieces are. And it says, check out the several products and programs that Optavia offers. So you look for that in here and you go down through, and I'll show you this real quick. Right here, check out those several products and programs. So we click on that. And all I'm going to do is bold it like they did. Put in that carriage return. And actually, I think if I just go through each thing, yep. The optimal 3 and 3 plan. Bold it. And I know that I've just said carriage return, and that's because I am older. I'm going to bold this one. So we're just going through each thing. Looking at, you're going to have to read a little bit, but this is so worth the time. I will tell you right now, since I started doing this, the open rate on my stuff is way bigger, way higher. So highly recommend you guys this. The Optavia Teen Boys Plan. Optavia Nursing Moms Plan. And bold it. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to highlight all of these. And hit the bullet points. And if you don't see a bullet point show up, it's because it doesn't register the carriage return. I did it again. The enter button or the return button. There we go. Gotta put an extra space in there. and delete that bullet, turn a bullet off. There we go. And look at that. Now the entire article's in real quick, and we still need to do one more thing. What do we need to do? We're going to add our picture. So all I'm going to do is grab image. I'm going to drag it right above Health and Hope Night. And again, I like using my own image, but all you got to do is, if you notice, I'm just grabbing this, I'm dragging it where then the image area will highlight green, and I drop it. It's going to upload. Project Broadcast does an amazing job of making everything fit just nice and neat. And boom, it's done. There it is. So now I put in my content, I put in their content, and I can continue to repeat that because there's multiple things that are given each week. Power consistency is another article I could create and do that with. The only thing I don't do is I don't do the side-by-sides. I always put the picture on top. That's just me. And then we can do our recipe. And the recipe is the same thing. I'm going to screenshot this right here. I'm going to highlight each side and do each of those as text. And I'm going to paste it in. And that's how simple that is. That's all that is it's 2 columns. And one column is the ingredients. The other column is the directions. And then this is just a picture of the recipe. So I just would grab this picture right here. Might as well do it for you real quick. Remember, it's Command-Shift-4 on a Mac. And then I drag that when it shows up on my screen and I drop it into my newsletter tips folder. And now I've got that ready to go. And then I'm going to highlight and copy the ingredients. This actually looks like a good one. So I'm going to highlight and copy the ingredients. Command-C or Control-C. Come inside here where I have my ingredients. And I'm going to paste it just like that. And then I come into my directions and Command-C or Control-C. Come back in. Like to delete and Command-V, Control-C. Now on this one, you're going to notice you have to do numbers. So you have to tell it to number everything, which is easy to do. You're just going to highlight it and click numbers. And then you're going to go through and find out where there's returns. You hit the return button, then hit the small delete button. Return button, small delete button. So this is not your backspace button. It's the small delete button. Return button, small delete button. Just go through and just keep repeating that until you get them all the way you want it to be. Okay. And done. Boom, it's in there. Now I just got to change this picture. So we're going to grab that screenshot, drag it in, drop it, and there it is. And now it's done, ready to go. And then I have a community call that we host for our community every single week. And so that's there right there. I've got the link in there that goes right to where we host our community call on our Zoom, and then click it. And it's that simple. Now here's a really important tip on any landing page that you're doing, anything at all. Make sure you click the save button. Do not click the back button. Click this big giant save button, top right-hand corner. Click that. That will take you back. Once you've done it, once it's done, that will take you back. Okay. And just like that, we're back. And there it is. That's how I transfer from my corporate to my personal and give all the same content that's been given to me, making sure that it's on point content that I'm not making up, but I can also personalize. I really, really hope this was helpful for you guys today. If you need more tips or tools on how to add these to campaigns or how to send them out each week, please, please don't hesitate to ask me.